Hi folks, welcome to another edition of Nevicast. This is round two.
Hashtag reload.
Yes. Alright man, just give a quick round of the table. You got myself, Chris, Fearless Nuwanda, always questing for peeps.
William.
Oh, Billy!
Actually, that should probably be the new nicknames. I'm Fearless Billy Nuwanda.
There you go.
Yeah, there we go. A new nickname is born. Yeah. To the right next to me, we have Buzz Lightyear himself, Adon.
Yes, that's right.
Always with a beer in his hand.
The delivery man.
The delivery man.
The delivery man.
Yes. Next to him, of course, is a special guest this week, Mr. Chris Black. Give a shout out, Chris.
Whoa. Who's playing footsie with me?
Man of fewer words. And of course, you know, in his exquisite Superman trunks, with cider in hand.
Hey.
Ladies and gentlemen, you didn't get to hear him last week.
Pants.
Yeah, close enough. But everybody give it up for Rum.
Yep. Hey, what's up? I'm not drinking rum right now though. It's cider.
Yeah.
I need some mead.
Yeah. We'll get to it eventually.
Mead would be good.
Yeah.
I love mead.
But and of course, you know, the man from the Edo period, the wandering samurai, Hans.
Yo, Jimbo.
Hey there, all you crazy cats out there. We're gonna have a rockin' good time talking about samurai, anime, gaming, and fuck it.
Everything
Next.
The Quiet Storm.
Did we just jump into Fallout 3 or something? Sounded kind of like what's his name? Three Dog.
We got some cold hard cash for you tonight.
Right.
Give us a call at 1-800-KTEL Records. That part didn't get over so well, but you know, hell, we're going with it anyway.
Hey, it's a learning experience.
Yeah.
We
Yes.
learn never to do that again.
Well, until I can find a better pun for it. But anywho, let's go ahead and get everything started tonight. So I'm going to kind of lead everything off with some gaming talk. And of course, you know, the big news, not necessarily for everybody around the table, but for me and Hobbs, was Stormblood finally is getting some more details unveiled on that. It was just kind of bittersweet for Hobbs over here.
Is that the 14?
Expansion, yes.
Yeah, 14 expansion. Yeah, it was kind of like woke up in the morning, new Stormblood trailer.
Red Mage.
Well, no, actually, the full trailer had unveiled the samurai, which then everybody was just like, yeah! And then you find out, samurai is a DPS class. Fuck! So, yeah.
Yeah, he just broke something.
Probably.
Yeah. I do it on a semi-regular basis. Don't worry about it, folks.
We have a supply of things for Fearless Nuwanda Billy. Billy Nuwanda?
Billy
Yes.
Nwanda.
Whatever.
Oh, Billy!
Our fearless Billy Nuwanda to break when he feels extra passionately about not getting a new job in a class that I play.
Yeah, even though it's like in a tank class, which I don't do tanks at all whatsoever. I'm a healer.
Thanks
So,
a lot.
yeah, exactly. But, yeah, I mean,
You're welcome.
But yeah, it's just at least the nice thing is it looks like Samurai is gonna have some pretty neat stuff for being a DPS. But
And guess what? They're based off the Edo period, Samurai. Please
Woo-hoo!
tell me, am I hamming this up too much?
Yeah.
I want to stop.
no,
Do it.
we're never gonna let you live that one down.
Nope.
But anywho, but yeah, still though, it kind of sucks that we're not getting a new healer or tank class, but from what we were generally able to parcel out information from at the FanFest, they're wanting to take the time to fix the current healer and DPS classes first, or healer and tank classes, before they try to add on more jobs.
So they're not going to make Red Mage like a semi-healer?
No,
I know it's probably going to be a DPS class.
it's a DPS class.
It 100% is.
You won't be able to do any healing.
You might.
It's an
14.
expansion. Yeah.
14.
Yeah, it's the upcoming expansion, Stormblood. Comes out this June, matter of fact.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Well,
going to be straight up just a DPS class?
Yeah.
To a degree, but you have to take into account that Scholar is also a DPS class, but they have the Physic ability, and do they get leeches, or does only Scholar get leeches? Their version of Asuna. I only know because I've had it cast on me ad nauseum.
Couldn't tell you, because, like, to be honest, I only played deep enough into Scholar classes to get eye for an eye.
Yeah.
So
this is just a conversation between the two of you. I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
hey, you know, it's like it's good information. You never know, like, folks are like wanting to listen in on some.
But it does tie back to what you were bringing up of Red Mage being solely DPS, because most likely, my guess is that there will be a fair amount of support on top of that, and saying that Scholar, though a DPS, has had a healing spell, it's not out of the question for Red Mage to be able to do that as well.
Yeah.
Okay. So originally what they did with Red Mage is he was supposed to be
everything.
Yeah, he was the middleman between everything. He was like your jack of all trades.
When in reality,
Yeah.
in 11, he was just a mana battery.
Yeah.
I hate
Or
it.
she,
to
be fair.
I love playing the Red Mage in 11, but I hate it when people are like, no, you don't do anything. We have to tell you how to play your character because you're not playing it the way we want you to play it. Like,
Yeah.
screw you, it's my game. I'll do what I want.
So,
Whatever.
but yeah, like that's kind of like a lot of the big information that's coming up right now. That and, like the big job fixes are coming soon.
And
So,
I did find something. They're trying to find a way to add Blitzball.
Ooh.
that does not surprise me. I mean, like
Well,
they have,
you've got swimming, you've got diving, so it kind of makes sense that they would add in another diversion. And it's kind of a cool idea. I'm
I love
still
the
on the
10.
waiting
Yeah.
on the fence and see how it turns out, because Triple Triad, I don't play. I don't care.
I did back.
I just want to
8.
punch things with a heater
Yeah.
shield.
yeah, like at 14, like Triple Triad's a big thing. Like you can start it up in the Gold Saucer, and like you can collect cards for like defeating certain bosses and enemies and whatnot. So yeah, it's pretty nice.
Unfortunately, in the Bowl of Embers, where you fight the Primal Ifrit, Triple Triad matches are not allowed. The game has to tell you this, as if you couldn't figure it out.
I
It's like,
forget
wait,
about that.
wait. Yeah.
It's like, well, you know, guys, I know we want to go fight this Primal, but first we need to have this Triple Triad match, you know.
We have to see who's primary and off tank. Winner gets to primary tank.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, like
Anyway,
that.
next topic.
Turn into the cell match where it takes fucking 50 episodes to get through one conversation.
I have to power up my deck.
Reminds me of
Oh,
that Dragon
Lordy.
Ball Z joke.
But-
Was it how many people does it take to how many Dragon Ball Z characters does it take to change the light bulb? One, but it takes them like 40 episodes to do it.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, let's like moving on a little bit from Stormblood. Of course, the other big thing that's coming out soon is the Switch. Switchy, good
Yes.
times.
That's 100% your baby.
Yeah, that's all. I do,
Yeah.
man.
I'm looking forward to it. Well, at least the nice thing you know is that, like, since I'll be getting one, I'll be able to keep everybody updated on how it runs and whatnot. It looks really sleek, though. One of the Neo gaffers got their Switch delivered to them inexplicably, like, early. So they went ahead and just did a whole video where they set up how the Switch UI works, and it's, like, really clean, really neat. Kind of like an evolution of the Wii U interface. The interesting part is that you're no longer required to make a Mii. You can actually just do an avatar now. I mean, the option's there, like you, but you know, it's not like something you have to do. Like, 'cause there are a lot of people where even though Mii's were kind of like cutesy, there are a lot of people who just want to have like a Mario picture.
There were a lot of people putting dicks as their faces too on there.
This is true.
This is
one
why we can't have nice things.
one of the reasons why we lost Swap Note on the 3DS too.
All the dick pics.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So
Dick pics, Hitler me's, all sorts of stupid shit.
basically, but I mean, at least you know. I mean, it's I have faith in Nintendo. I mean,
I lost faith back after SNES. So.
yeah.
And to be fair, I would like to pick up a Switch, because if nothing else, it will be getting No More Heroes 3 from what I understand. That, and I just like to keep my options open, except Microsoft. I don't like Microsoft. Xbone burn in hell.
360 was probably their best system ever.
It did have Final Fantasy 11 on it.
Yeah.
They had a lot of.
And it had the own HM Bar games.
I have to say I've never really liked the Xbox very much.
Good
Yeah,
man.
the only thing I really liked that came out of it was Halo.
The only thing
Halo was pretty cool for a while, but it still wasn't that
yeah,
great.
it
though.
lost.
Until it went completely up its own ass.
Yeah.
But the main thing I liked from the 360 was having Connect for Skyrim, just switching between weapons and actually saying the shouts was awesome. That made it more fun.
Yep, and
More immersive, like MX. I can't remember his name.
yeah,
MXR.
yeah, very true. Plus, I mean, the nice part is, it's like I'll probably get ready to rebuy Skyrim again when it comes out for Switch later this year.
Yeah.
Even were I to get a Switch, I would not buy Skyrim again. I've played it.
So you can
It's
play it
over.
for like an hour, and then the battery goes down. And you got to charge it back up. And
Actually, well, it will probably be more closer to how Breath of the Wild runs, which is probably about like 2.5, 3 hours. Actually, somebody did a teardown of the Switch the other day. It got posted up, and it's like the battery on that thing is like freaking huge. It's
Just hope
just
it doesn't explode.
yeah. Just hope it doesn't
Made
explode.
by Samsung.
Oh, good lord.
You're gonna play your Switch, and it's like.
Yeah.
Of course, conversely, if someone does try to do a B&E while you're playing Breath of the Wild, I'm sorry, Link, this'll have to wait. And then beat them to death with it.
Yes. This is true as well.
Link will understand.
Yeah, Link will understand because he's like his in game. He's gonna be too busy just setting everything on fire to begin with.
Although, to be fair, based on Link's previous actions, he might actually root for the burglar. Considering all the rupees, he just walks into random people's houses and, Hero of Hyrule, I'm entitled to this.
My favorite Ren Fair picture is a guy dressed up as Link, and he's standing outside of a pottery building.
Yeah.
It's like he's like,
It's just like, that's some good pottery you got over there. It'd be a shame if somebody had to go over there and go smash it. But yeah, I'll be picking it up, and over the course on the website, I'll post my impressions of the Switch in general, and especially Zelda Breath of the Wild.
what?
So we'll see how that all flies out, and
He's got something in the throat.
yeah.
And to be fair, Link does help out the community by cutting its grass. For
This
his
is
own
true as
benefit.
well. Although in Breath of the Wild, you can't really get anything for cutting the grass anymore.
But you can cut the grass in 3D. That's
This is true.
awesome. Just like you can push a barrel down a hill and watch it roll for 5 hours.
Yeah.
Yay,
Well,
physics.
I did that in Skyrim.
We're
Now,
not
that was
surprised.
That was the summon all the cheese and watch it roll down the mountain.
Did you have cheese races?
No,
You're doing it wrong.
I don't know. It's not as immersive.
Yeah.
To have cheese races.
Yeah.
Really? Have you ever been in a cheese race? Or have you
No,
ever
I mean,
watched
it's
a
not
cheese
immersive
race?
that I haven't done a cheese race down Skyrim Mountain.
Everyone is now out of the podcast.
Yeah, pretty much.
We have to pull them back
Yes.
in.
So, you
So,
guys go
Fearless
to
Billy?
the Akon thing next week, right?
Mini Acon.
Yeah, mini Akon.
We will be making an appearance there. We probably won't be doing autographs, but if you insist, and by insist I mean give us $5, we'll be able to hook you up.
Give us money. But yeah, like we're gonna go check it out. I mean, the thing about Mini Akon is that it's not like a super de-duper huge event.
It's actually only one day.
Yeah, it's only one day. Usually from what was it, 12
10 to 5.
10 to 5.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Get there early enough, and you'll get to do special stuff or something. I don't know.
No,
We missed out last time. It wasn't last year.
No, it was about 2-3 years ago.
2 years ago.
But I mean, they're not advertising anything super special for getting there early this year. But it's just we got a few voice actors, a couple vendors.
Yeah, I saw they announced Vic Mignogna.
Well, that's gonna be for the big event.
Yeah.
That'll be for Akon. But I mean, they're gonna actually a lot of folks for.
So not only do they
Akon.
have Vic Mignogna, but they have. Okay, that was loud. But they have
A little musical break, courtesy
Johnny,
of our
yes.
guest.
Johnny on Bosch.
Yeah. They got Johnny on Bosch and Eyeshine coming out there.
So yeah, probably two of the most
Probably
Prolific.
No,
prolific voice actors.
I
I
wouldn't say
mean,
prolific. I was thinking more of
Recognizable?
no, not that either.
no, I was gonna
Thinking
say
more
those
like,
those two are
High on
definitely recognizable.
cocaine? We're running out of adjectives here.
Diva. they're like divas.
It goes back and
Super
forth.
divas. It's like sometimes I've heard some cons with talking about Vic Mignogna where he's like super nice and everything. Other ones where he's like preachy and like very demanding and
Yeah.
But until we meet them and have a chance to interview them, we reserve judgment here at the Nevidevil Group.
This is true. But like con stuff is always fun. But yeah, like speaking of like the dank animus, the anime stuffs, this gives me a chance to like, go into one of my bits. So a few days ago, I heard of a story. Like, as you know, like when it comes to the anime industry, a lot of times when fans like overseas want to get a hold of Japanese goods, they'll go ahead and import them from like CD Japan. Like even though they know it's going to be more prohibitively expensive, because you know like a lot of times with the Japan goods they pack in stuff that you can't get even in the like US releases. So it's like you'll have these super fans who will like go ahead and just drop down $400 on like a bunch of Blu-rays because hell they want the special postcard. So it's kind of distressed and surprised that this week Avex Pictures sent out a notice to all of like CD Japan and a few others that they are restricting imports all over the place for all territories except for Japan, which was kind of like really surprising out of nowhere because now it's not just anime that's being affected, it's basically all of Avex's product output. So it's like any of their musical acts, touring CDs, all that stuff, now you can't get a hold of it anymore. And I did some digging into that, and it was like, apparently it was because Avex is in the process of setting up multiple stores across Asia. And it's at the point where, for us here in the US, importing something from Japan is pretty fucking expensive. Like most of the time when you want to go order like the new Ayumi Hamasaki CD, it's going to run you like $40-50.
or the Kamen Rider belts.
Yeah.
Like the 4 you have up there.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's kind of like, so it costs a whole ton of money, but crazily enough, for those who are like in Asia, it's actually cheaper for them to get the Japanese version versus waiting for their own version to come out because their own version is going to cost like a hell of a lot more money. And they're not going to get the same goods that you get in the Japanese version. Which is probably why Avex is like taking a huge dump of that and saying, no, you have to like order from blah 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 anyway. But it's just kind of one of those things where it just really sucks, and it's just like kind of more of an indication of how restrictive Japanese companies are when it comes to managing their content versus the States. Versus like everywhere else. Yeah, Korea being the main deal. It was crazy because like, when J-pop and like the Japanese rock scene and anime were really starting to come through in the 2000s, all of a sudden you had all of the major companies just slam down on everything, and it's like you can't really view their stuff on YouTube anymore. They don't want to put their music out on like US iTunes. They don't want to make it easy for folks to be able to digest their product. Instead, they want to sit there and run out and basically force you to pirate it, which is kind of bullshit, because they're like, we're kind of getting into the age where it's just like we want to give you our money. Just why won't you take our money?
Because your money is dirty.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just really insane, and like Korea is probably the best comparison because right when Japan was like shutting down all their stuff, all of a sudden you have the Hallyu Wave come out, and it's like you have all these Korean entertainment companies and their major networks are just like, it's okay, y'all, come on, yeah, come sub our stuff, we'll let you put it up, like no problem, like, oh here, you want to buy these CDs? Heck, you can get that for like $16, bro, free shipping. We'll even throw in some signatures for you. How do you like that? And now, like, that's why you have such a huge proliferation of K-pop here in the States, because
It's cheaper.
it's, for one, it's...
And more readily available.
Yeah, it's cheaper, more readily available. It has that exoticness factor that a lot of folks like, which is why like they got probably into like anime and J-pop and all that stuff in the first place. Meantime, you have like all these Japanese companies that have just completely shut themselves out, you know, which is just really kind of unfortunate. The thing that really worries me is that Avex Pictures are the ones that finance a lot of stuff like Yuri on Ice. So it makes you wonder, like, are they even going to let Funimation or Crunchyroll or Sentai Filmworks, like, get the home video distribution? Or are they going to do it themselves and then, even worse off, go towards the Aniplex model of selling stuff, which is, like, for example, you know, like,
I thought Yuri on Ice was already on Funimation.
It is already on Funimation, but they have the streaming rights for it. They don't. I don't believe at this time they have the home video rights, which basically the ability to sell it on DVD and Blu-ray.
But unless you're super hardcore, physical media is more or less gone the way of the dodo.
It has to an extent, but there are some folks that, like myself, that still like to get physical media for certain series.
Yeah, that's rare.
But but it's just like, I mean, it's just disheartening that like so many like anime companies, like Funimation's trying to do their damnedest to like at least keep the costs down, but you have a lot more anime companies that are trying to go for that Aniplex model, which like a good example is Gurren Lagann. You know, when Gurren Lagann was licensed out by like Bandai and whatnot, you could get the whole series for like $30-40.
And like, unlike Coolie Coolie, where you get 2 episodes for like $60.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck that shit.
Yeah, like, whereas now, like, ever since Aniplex took back the rights to Gurren Lagann, the only way you can get it now is you have to plop down $150 for a box set.
Or I can go on torrent it and, like, get it in 5 minutes.
Well, I mean, to be honest, though, it's like, it's up on Crunchyroll and Netflix. There's really not even a need to do that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
At least for the older series. Like, the only one anime series that, like, you really have to be like, well, fuck, I guess I gotta pirate this shit, is Macross.
Macross and one of my particular favorites, Sayonara Zetsubo Sensei, will never be licensed.
Is that in the Edo period?
No, Delivery Man, it is not. You lose this round. Deduct 500 points.
Lose 50 experience!
I was thinking the exact same thing.
And he walked right into that
I'm
counter.
supposed to be playing my D&D game next week. I'm so excited.
Yes. But yeah, it's just one of those things that's like really frustrating, you know, with like Japanese companies, and just, you know, something that hopefully, you know, in the near future, maybe they'll take another look at it and just be like, hey, maybe we should open stuff up a little bit and actually, you know, try to put out more stuff at a decent price.
Mayhaps. But the thing is, they're probably not going to respond unless the market has backlash, because, you know, there are those super fans who will shell out the ridiculous amounts of money.
Yeah, the ultra. It's all like in Japan,
The
of course, the otaku of Japan, which is kind of has a much more negative connotation than it does here in the States. But they're pretty much.
Well, the actual definition is incredibly negative. It is not a nice thing to call people.
Yeah, but like it's kind of one of those deals where like when the term was like first heard amongst, you know, weeaboos here in the States, we kind of took that and spun that around into a complete
We
positive.
got it completely fucking wrong,
Like the word
and
geek.
Yeah.
The sideshow.
Yeah.
someone who bites the heads off of chickens.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
there's...
It's one of those things where it's just like, we took that around and made it an A+, homie.
But it's not an A+.
Yeah.
It literally means someone who does not leave their home because all they do is pursue their interest.
Yeah.
It's not a good thing and not healthy, though I am quite guilty of it myself.
Yeah, that's pretty much why we're all here. But yeah, like
my interests take me out of the house every so often, like Ren Fair.
this is true.
As do mine on the front porch.
Yeah, or when a con comes around.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Hey,
like
people need their hookah wizard.
yes, this is true. But yeah,
He is a hookah wizard. That's why he said that.
yeah. But yeah, that's kind of like my bit on talking about the dank animes real quick. Don, what sounds good? Like I know you usually like. Last podcast, you talked about how you're like really looking into Full Metal Alchemist. You're kind of really trying to get into the secrets of alchemy and all that stuff for something you were planning on for a panel. So how's that work coming?
Yeah, it's going really well. There's a lot of information out there, and I was looking into Full Metal Alchemist, the first series, and Brotherhood, and I keep thinking that the first one is better than Brotherhood.
What?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Up to episode 10.
And here it starts.
No. Okay.
So, Chris,
What?
shall we excuse ourselves from this cluster fiasco?
What? You only watch Full Metal Alchemist up to like episode 10 or so, I think, is when Maze Hughes dies.
No, I think well, spoilers obviously. But yeah, I think Hughes'
Dude,
death
it's been
was
like 10 years. So.
You never know. There have been some folks who have never caught Full Metal Alchemist.
it's
Or
that's
those
true.
who just got into the game who are like, hey, that Full Metal Alchemist, those awesome guys from the Nevicast group are talking about it, so I'd better check. Holy fuck, spoilers!
Yeah.
After that, well,
Those ass clowns.
I've been spoiled on stuff I haven't seen anything, some things since the 80s, whatever.
Yeah. I
Oh
mean,
crap! You
there's-
just spoiled it.
Yeah.
It came out like 30 years ago.
There's always
Anyway,
someone. There's always
You only watch up to like episode 10 after Maze Hughes dies, and then you switch over to Brotherhood and skip first episode because that's all just stupid. And then it gets back into the canon stuff. But you have to watch the canon.
Yeah.
If it's not canon, it's not good.
Otherwise, it will go off and you will have a cannonball in your face.
yeah.
That's no fun.
Well, I mean, like,
Reasons I don't watch filler episodes of Naruto. I just skip all that shit.
I didn't
mean-
because they were stupid.
it's kind of interesting, kind of like the like how the Full Metal Alchemist fandom handles like the two series. It's kind of like the general argument is that the second one is completely accurate to the manga down to the T.
Yep.
But a lot of people do feel that the first series has more heart.
So, the reason why I liked the first season better is because the story was more creative in terms of character development.
They had to make all that shit up as they went along
Exactly.
because they.
That's the
but
beauty of it.
But the thing is, it's not canon.
No.
None of it.
it
None of it.
isn't.
After Maze Hughes dies, it's fucking.
Yes.
It's not canon.
And it's beautiful.
No, it's
It's
not.
beautiful.
It's fucking horrible. The ending was stupid.
The ending, I have to agree.
The ending was
That
so
was the reason I
bad.
didn't like about
It was-
the
It didn't make any sense. However, the story.
They had to
Between-
put a movie out just to fix it.
Yes. Yes.
What was
Agreed.
I didn't like it either. What
Yeah,
was
the movie wasn't even good.
What was it? What was the name of the other world?
It's-
Shambhala.
Shambhala, yeah, or whatever.
Yeah.
I totally hated the.
It's
the
the
twist
Wi-Fi
they did on it.
password for Doctor Strange.
Yeah. So,
It's like, what
Must-
is this? My mantra? No, it's the Wi-Fi password. What do you think? We're savages?
so my thing is the whole story of Mustang being the one who killed Winry's parents. Spoilers.
Too late.
Too late. That's right.
You said that before you spoiled.
Yeah. Sorry. And then, Winry having to deal with that. Like, that part of the
Yeah,
story.
And it's
It's great.
not canon.
It's not canon.
None of that is
It's
canon.
beautiful.
No.
Yes.
Just because it didn't technically occur in a fictional universe means it's not good?
Yeah. Exactly.
But yeah, but then
Okay,
you have
we'll
to...
have to agree to disagree.
They used the fear as wrath instead of pride.
Yeah.
It was like I just liked Brotherhood a whole lot more. Brotherhood to me was just like the best one. That's actually, from what I understand, the original one
Yes.
from Japan. Like
It
the
was
one
the
that we had here
manga.
in America was the
No,
Yeah.
no. What happened was, up to a certain point, the manga wasn't far enough ahead. So when they were making the anime, they had to come up with their own story to finish it because the manga wasn't done yet. So when the manga was
That's
finally
like that, too.
finished, they went back and made Brotherhood.
Yeah, because like back when the
based off of
first...
actual manga.
Yeah.
But yeah, because like basically, back in the day, like when manga was like still coming out, a lot of times anime production companies would go ahead and just create their own storylines, come up with anime original endings. Like a really big example was Trigun. Trigun has an anime original ending because the manga wasn't even close. Like, matter of
It
fact,
wasn't even finished.
yeah, there's a lot of elements towards the end of Trigun that are completely different in the manga. But at the time, that's what anime production companies did, because it's like, hey, we got this episode quota we got to take care of. Like, I guess we fucking wrap this shit up. But around
That's why Naruto and like Bleach and all those have filler episodes. They're
It's,
trying to let the manga get far enough ahead so they can go back to canon stuff and then
catch up.
continue the story. Yeah.
But yeah, like around the time when Brotherhood, like the original Fullmetal Alchemist manga was finished up, mangaka started becoming much more controlling over their properties, and like a lot of them now are very stickler about,
Fairy Tail.
yeah, like about anime original endings.
really?
Like example, like Jason talked about Fairy Tail.
Oh my god. That's one of the only shows that I will watch a filler because the mangaka has such a hold on that show. They actually, he was so upset with the last anime company that was doing the show that he shut down production, and he went with another company, and they're doing the next season right now.
That's what happened.
Yeah.
Okay.
That reminds me, I know it's off subject, but Vampire D is supposed to get its own freaking manga coming up soon, isn't it? Like its own series or whatever?
Yeah, they've been like having that in the works for a long time now.
Because I know they've actually made like a manga, like the book, but like as far as like a sexual series, like
Yeah.
a television series or like manga, freaking, as far as I know, they were gonna start one, as far as I know.
Yeah, hopefully they don't do the Berserk Black Swordsman arc route and just CGI everything.
Oh man,
Because that was some janky shit.
that
did
was
you?
jarring.
Yeah. Like, did you catch a Black Swordsman arc that just came out for Berserk?
Not on, no.
Okay, yeah, I'm not sure if you want to.
You
It's
probably
mainly
don't.
It's mainly all digital, right?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
painfully, obviously CGI.
Yeah. I get what you're saying. I'm more of the traditional anime type. I don't like the
Hand drawn
the-
stuff. Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
Yeah.
back when he was with the Band of the Hawk, that set the bar way too high.
Right.
But I
Like
watched the...
Appleseed. Did you ever see Appleseed back in the day?
No.
I remember that one. I didn't get to see very much of it though, but I remember the one you're talking about.
It's like they CG was like early days stuff, whatever, for anime, and
Yeah.
that was all CG. It was kinda
Yeah, because I remember that. Yeah, it was kind of jarring, but at least it gave us a really cool Boom Boom Satellites song or two. I actually bought their album based off that.
There have been.
I
some
bought
that
the,
I thought were
Pillows
pretty cool,
album.
but, like, the
Yeah.
ones where I'm
Really
looking at
cool.
Well, the thing is, not only is it painfully obviously CGI in the Black Swordsman arc, it's Berserk, so there are a lot of exposed characters. And I'm not complaining about this. It just struck me as weird that they Barbie doll everyone.
Yeah, that's true.
It's like, well, you kidnapped me from my tent and I'm now topless. But I'm missing some things. Huh. OL demons, who cares?
Yep.
Act demons.
Act demons.
Like,
There's a
sort of
t-shirt.
Like Scarlett Johansson in the Ghost in the Shell trailer.
With the second one or the first one?
Either one. I mean, where she's in a bodysuit and not like completely naked like she was in the anime.
That's because in the anime it wasn't like that either. It should be in the bodysuit that was the therm optic camouflage or whatever.
Yeah.
Freaking, it's that you couldn't
Well, she was naked. Pretty
basically, but it was like it was still like
But
a bodysuit. You could
this
still never
version
see
is
anything.
more of
It's
like
just very
that-
well defined is all.
Yeah.
much. This version is more like she's wearing like or that's not she's not wearing anything. That's her skin.
Yeah.
It's not the camouflage that she's wearing.
No.
But she's still in a robot chassis, so why would they bother to put nipples on a robot? Unless it's specifically
sex
designed... Thank you for ruining my punchline.
'Cause
Anyway.
Scarlett
Just stole
Johansson-
your thunder.
Scarlett
Not even
Johansson-
stole my thunder.
But,
She's so fucking sexy. That's why.
Because in the future, an alternate timeline of Japan,
Yeah.
they know who... that's how big her star is.
Yep. Why else would they make her the main character?
Because they couldn't find someone else to do it.
they
Whitewash.
couldn't get,
She's a giant Hollywood draw, so let's get the big name in here to get people who have no fucking clue what Ghost in the Shell is to watch our movie, which doesn't need to be made.
They never did say her name in the trailers, did they?
They just address her the Major.
Major, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, her name is Kusanagi, Major Kusanagi.
They never say it in the trailer.
They gave you her first name, or last name. I mean, you're talking about in the movie.
The movie.
Yeah, for the live action movie.
She's just Major.
Yeah, it's one of the ways that they're getting around the fact that the Major is obviously not Asian in the live action version.
Major Kusanagi.
Couldn't they just say that, hey, we switched out robot bodies?
I saw her as like
a robot,
American or European or something, Caucasian, not as Asian. I have a hard time seeing any anime character as an Asian. Like most of the time, I always see them as if they're Caucasians. It's weird.
Yeah, it's a lot of the time it's the drawing styles, and not only that, but a lot of times when they create a lot of anime, they're already now, especially nowadays, thinking about the wider audience rather than. There's a few titles that have a very distinctly Asian feel to them, kind of like Ping Pong the animation.
Haven't seen it.
Nope.
Crazy stuff.
You lost me on that.
Ghost Hound, I think, is another one.
Yeah.
And I think it's not Japanese, but I think it's set in China, but Night Raid 1931.
Yeah.
They actually look Asian.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of like a deal. Like a lot of character designers now try to go for more of a, this could be like you could plop this person here and here and here,
They have no cultural background. They do not matter. You instantly love them.
Pretty much.
And this is how we get overrun by Moe blobs, people. It starts here. Fight back.
Speaking of fighting back, you guys excited for Attack on Titan Season 2?
Yeah, I'm stoked for it. I think it's going to be pretty neat.
That's not fighting back. That's prolonging how long it is until you're completely shit-can fucked. There is one way that series can end. And the longer they drag it out, I'll keep watching.
They
kidding.
They dragged it out way
It's so
too long.
good, though.
Well, I mean, like, as somebody who's kind of been keeping up with the manga storyline,
No
like,
spoilers.
No, the only thing I'm saying is, like, well, see, yeah, now he cares about spoilers.
Yeah,
like, look
of
at this
course.
shit. But, like, I'm just saying, like, it's
Game
going
of
to be, I'm stoked for it because, like, yeah, like, it's going to be some really good shit. I'm also waiting to see what hot son we get that's going to succeed,
Having the sex with the bees and the eagles?
Yeah. Or, jotting along the wings of freedom.
Yes. They should totally have a flow. They should have a flow song because that fits. Their, upbeat, happy style. Be like the second ending to Bleach. Happy people. Half of Soul Society is dead. Happy people.
Yeah.
Read the fucking room.
When does it come out?
April 1st.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it should
On April Fool's Day.
Yep.
Hmm.
Yeah, they'll have the dub version up first, and usually Funimation will get their
Or the sub version.
the sub version. Yeah, and then Funimation will have their dubs up
Like a
usually
week
like
or two later.
they usually take a couple weeks to get started, and then after that it's usually like a week after.
But yeah, they're doing simul dubs as well. So
Yeah,
So,
I'm hoping for that.
they're simulcast subs that they're doing. Then like a week or two later, they'll have the simul dubs up.
Speaking of series that took way too long, the Seven Deadly Sins. Thoughts on that?
I never saw it.
Wanted, kind of, sort of, to watch it, but it wasn't set in the Edo period.
Yeah, well,
It's
season
too modern.
2 just came out on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
That's on Netflix.
That's
There's very few shows I'll actually watch on Netflix. Like I started watching a series of Unfortunate Events. I only saw like the first 2 episodes. I was like, I'm good.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, of course, like, for me, like, I have to I'm sitting there waiting on Netflix to come out with, like, the Little Witch Academia TV show, which is, like, the new Trigger joint.
Wasn't that on
Shouldn't you be tapping the
Crunchyroll?
top?
Yeah. Give it to my veins.
He's got to get his fix. Originally, he
Um,
was tapping his watch, but no,
yeah.
he's got to get his anime fix.
No, like, well, they
intravenously.
put the pilot out on YouTube, and then they went to Kickstarter to fund the TV show, and got their funds for it. but their distributor ended up turning out to be Netflix, and you know how Netflix is. They won't fucking come out with a goddamn show until it's already all the way done in Japan. So right now, it's out. It's coming out week by week during the season, but we're not going to get it here in the States, technically, until, like, sometime in April.
I don't know. Give me a few hours. I can get it on.
Oh, dear
Yeah,
God. Yeah, that's probably what happens. Like, I'm pretty sure there's a couple subgroups that were just like, fuck this shit, and went ahead and took it up. And it's just like,
Of course.
it's just like, that's one of the things that's so frustrating about Netflix for me, is that, like, I love the fact that they're going out of their way to get all this new content.
They have to put it out for the binge watchers.
Yeah, I just hate that it's, like, completely for binge watchers.
Like Stranger Things coming out Halloween.
Yeah.
It should have came out like maybe summer. I was expecting it maybe March, April, May.
Second season, you mean, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, second season.
But they pushed it off till Halloween of
Yeah.
this year.
Yeah,
Makes sense.
yeah, that's Netflix for you, though.
Well, you gotta have those Ghostbusters. Kids get dressed up as Ghostbusters.
Yeah. Get that whole tie-in going.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, you know, actually, this whole time we've kind of been blabbing a lot of anime and stuff like that, but we've yet to hear from another person's perspective. So, hey, Chris. So, what's going on with what's hot anime have you been catching lately? What strikes your eye?
Actually, I haven't been watching too much anime lately. The last one I was into was trying to catch up on Inuyasha. I've never finished the whole damn series.
Neither have I.
There's so many damn episodes to it.
I know, right?
I've gotten like 30 or 40 episodes in. I still haven't finished it yet.
Which one was that again?
Inuyasha.
Oh, yeah.
They put out the final chapter.
It's been around for a while, but
yeah.
I've been trying to
Wait.
finish it forever now.
You might want to give them the synopsis of every damn episode under the sun.
Inuyasha! Kagome!
Sit, boy!
Inuyasha! Kagome! Yeah, that's pretty much like
And then like,
Inuyasha.
sit boy, and she makes him.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I was about to say. You stole my line.
Yeah.
You did to him earlier too, damn it.
And there we go. There are your spoilers for Inuyasha.
It's like, we might as well just call, like, this, like, you know,
Spoiler fest.
spoiler fest.
I'm waiting for the new Ghost in the Shell movie to come out. That's really the live version with Scarlett Johansson. That's going to be freaking awesome. I know you guys were talking about it a minute ago. But
Yeah.
I just think they picked the perfect actress to actually play her. That's freaking
That's
awesome.
kind of a pass for me, but
It'll probably be one of those.
she's one of my favorite actresses. But god damn, yeah, the movie just I don't know.
It's one of those deals where it's hard to look past the fact that they whitewashed a lot of the cast. But at the same token, it's kind of one of those. It's just like, that's what the struggle is. It's like, I want to go support it because it has the support of the mangaka, and they actually had a lot of the IG crew and a lot of those folks behind the movies come by and visit, and they're all like, yeah, they're actually putting a lot of effort into this and making it work. But
It's just gonna be another like Matrix 3, whatever.
Although, with them having the mangaka and stuff come out, are you sure that wasn't just a PR stunt? Because you know they have their detractors who are saying, man, this is whitewashed, I'm not going to go see it. So, you get the source to come by, give it as okay, even if he's just counting bills behind the dumpster,
Ghostbusters.
figuratively. Has
Well-
nothing to do with this. Anyway, so even if he's just being paid under the table to say it, you've got those people who are disarmed by that. So one can never know, which is why I am officially throwing in my hat to the completely and utterly indifferent Ring.
But that's pretty much like,
Speaking of Ring, how was the new Rings movie?
Rings was not very good. It was better than Ring 2, but that's not saying much.
yeah.
Still fan of the original one the most.
Yeah.
What do you get?
What, the original Japanese version?
Well, actually, I like the original Japanese version, but I also like the American version too.
The
first
Gore
one.
Verbinski?
Yeah, Naomi Watts. It was pretty good.
It
the
was.
American version was actually a pretty good rendering of the original Japanese one.
And
Yeah.
it was a lot more coherent than the original Japanese one.
Yeah.
Because the Japanese one was kind of all over the place. But in both versions, they actually leave out the fact that Sadako/Samara should have been a guy.
Right.
In the book, she's a packin'. Part of the reason why she gets thrown down a well, unfortunately. But, 80s era Japan tolerance.
Doesn't really jive along that well.
No.
Yeah. Good times. Yeah, so at this point, we kind of want to go cast a little bit of a wider net. Let's just see what everybody is into at this point. It's kind of something we do every week. So
why don't we begin with our guest?
Yeah, take it away, Chris.
What are you up to in general, man?
Oh God, don't start with my life right now.
I mean, what stuff like in media, entertainment in general, like what's catching your eye? Like, so I know, there's a new Game of Thrones season that's coming up.
It's
Supposed to.
June.
June now. They're starting late this time. Normally
Supposed to
comes
come
around
out in April.
normally comes around in April or May or whatever. Or March.
I kind of like that though, because that's when I'm usually at Ren fairs. So.
Right. I'm actually really excited about the last season. Actually had some really good, because I mean, with the Game of Thrones, it's usually been just like one tragedy after another. Like this horrible thing happens, and this horrible thing happens. Like your favorite heroes die, and then you start to get accustomed to some other characters that you like a lot, and then they die. It's just like it never stops. With this last season, like actually really good things happen. So I'm actually really excited about the new one. I want to see what's gonna happen yet. And it's winter's been coming for like fucking 5 seasons now. So I'm waiting for
Winter's
winter
probably
actually
dehydrated.
Yeah,
Winter needs some water to replenish its fluids.
Pretty much. But yeah, that sounded pretty cool. I know, like with you, Jason, like you're always into you got Ren Fair stuff coming up, but more importantly, you're
Supergirl.
Yeah, you're
Flash,
like
Legends.
Yeah,
Arrow.
pretty much out of the group. Like Jason is like
Shield.
Jason is the Meister of the board games and the Lord of the CW.
I don't know about that.
What is
His
the
scepter
third
got
season
lost
on
in the mail.
Daredevil coming out.
I don't know. They haven't announced it yet.
Okay.
Well, yeah, because right now it's Defender.
Next one coming out is
Iron Fist, and then it's
and
Defenders.
then Defenders comes out after that, and then this December is Punisher.
Yeah.
The
Then
new Guardians of the Galaxy is supposed to come out sometime this year.
yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy, I believe, is in May.
I love that movie. The first one, it was hilarious.
Yeah.
I actually have
Great.
the awesome mix CD.
I have it in
Yeah,
my
I
car.
know. Yeah, I picked it up for him for his
I have
birthday.
I have it in my car. Actually.
Yeah.
I listen to that a lot, actually.
Nice.
Uh,
But yeah. So what's striking your fancy, Hob?
Hob. Do I get a new nickname every podcast?
Pretty much. Hob Hans Hobbs.
Hobbs.
And I put forth the deadpan dead man. Even though I'm very not deadpan most of the time, but
Like
fuck it.
half-boiled pan.
Half-boiled pan?
Yes, half-boiled pan.
Half-boiled pan. Yes.
Was it double? Double.
Anyway, so trying to knock out the dote. May I?
Nope.
Trying. Obviously.
But yeah, you're trying to knock out the Dojin right now.
Yes, trying to
So-
knock out the Dojin script so we can get that out to our loving and adoring public. Also, trying to keep up with Flash Fiction Friday, which I might have taken on before I actually thought about how much work it would be. But I'm sure I can handle it.
Oh, that's always cool beans. Like anything catching your eye media-wise? Like anything neat you've been seeing lately?
Honestly, no. For the most part, I've just been trying to get caught up to Mr. Panda here in Final Fantasy XIV and playing a little bit here and there of For Honor.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, that's been 14's been my main obsession over the last few weeks. So I've been doing that. Which, by the way, on Mondays, you can catch me out on twitch.tv/FMPanda, which I do my Final Fantasy streaming on there. If you can't catch me on Monday nights, just always keep in mind that if you go to the Nevicast Group's YouTube page, I usually upload all my streams up on there. So yeah, give it a check out, all that nice little jazz. And I never thought I would be pimping something on the second episode of the podcast, but here we are.
Yeah,
But-
balls. I forgot to plug a couple things. As I mentioned, Flash Fiction Friday. Look for it. Anticipate it. And I will also be streaming on Fridays after I finish with my Flash Fiction for the week.
Yeah, basically as things progress and get on, like if you check out our YouTube pages, we're gonna be having a lot more streaming sessions uploaded on there, a lot more gameplay, a lot more Let's Plays that are coming up eventually. You know, because one of the main focuses for us is that we do a lot of video gaming and whatnot. And actually, pretty soon here, you know, the Meister of board gaming will start getting some board gaming sessions involving all of us. So yeah, we want you guys to check it out, and gonna be good times. Other than like 14 stuff, I mean, I've mainly just been checking out my Dragon Maid waifu show, Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. For those who aren't really keeping up too much, so.
And he's also been keeping us in line with the whole Nevedevil group, being our fearless Nwanda. He has a job to do.
Fearless Billy Nwanda!
And considering trying to get us to do any one thing is like herding cats, it's near on a full-time job. So my hat's off to you, fearless Billy Nwanda.
Yes, I will take those props. And on that note...
Reminds me of those old Bud Light.
That's the idea. Moving on.
Yeah. At this point, man, we should probably go ahead and wrap it up for this edition of our Nevicast. Thank you guys for joining us. And from everybody here, we say goodbye and good night.
Night.
Good night.